A bicycle is one of the simplest machines we have. It's brilliant. But the second you put it on a road next to a 2-ton car, suddenly you've got one of the most complex and frankly dangerous situations imaginable. So today, we're going to break down that complexity and give you, the driver, a really simple, clear playbook for how we can all share the roads safely.
So let's start with that big question. Why? Why is this so hard? How can these simple little machines create such a puzzle for us on the road? And look, the answer isn't as simple as bikes are small and cars are big. It actually has a lot more to do with how our brains are wired to see or not see the world when we're behind the wheel.
Well, there's actually a name for this, and it's kind of fascinating. Psychological blindness. It's that terrifying moment where a driver is technically looking right at something, but they're not really seeing it. And because a cyclist has such a narrow profile and their speed can be tricky to judge, our brains can literally just filter them out. Until, of course, it's way too late.
All right, so let's really dive into this visibility paradox. We're going to dig into the why behind the danger, and we'll pinpoint the exact moments and places where this psychological blindness is most likely to trip us up.
Okay, so this chart pretty much lays out where the biggest risks are. And no surprise, intersections are the absolute peak danger zone. You've got cars and bikes just crisscrossing everywhere. But take a look at crossings. The real trap here is mental. A driver's brain sees a human-sized figure and automatically thinks pedestrian speed. But a cyclist is moving so much faster, and that gap between perception and reality, well, that can be devastating.
Okay, so knowing where accidents happen is important. But to really get it, to actually prevent them, we have to do something else. We have to shift our perspective. For just a minute, let's try to see the road not from behind a steering wheel, but from over a set of handlebars. I mean, just think about how different the world looks from those two seats. For you, in a car, a pothole's a minor bump, maybe a quick thump from your suspension. For a cyclist, that exact same pothole is a potential catapult. It can send them flying. And a parked car? To us, it's just a thing on the side of the road. To a cyclist, it's a constant threat of dooring, a door swinging open and creating a sudden immovable wall right in their path.
And this is why cyclists do things that might, seem a little frustrating from a driver's seat. Like this move, taking the lane. Now, from a car, it can feel aggressive, right? But it's actually a really smart, defensive safety strategy. By moving into the center, the cyclist makes themselves impossible to ignore, and more importantly, they prevent a driver from trying to dangerously squeeze past in a lane that's just not wide enough for both of them.
And look, when a collision happens, it's almost never just one person's fault. This chart shows it's really a shared responsibility. Sure, cyclist errors like ignoring a signal are definitely a factor, but motorist errors, things like failing to yield, being distracted, or speeding, are a huge piece of the puzzle. It just goes to show you that safety is a two-way street.
All right, enough about the why. Let's get to the what you can do about it. This is the driver's safety playbook. We're talking about simple, immediate actions you can take that will have a massive impact on keeping everyone on the road safe. If you only remember one number from this whole thing, please make it this one, 3 feet. That is the absolute bare minimum safe distance for passing a cyclist. Why? Because stuff happens. A gust of wind, a piece of glass on the road. That space is their safety buffer. And honestly, the real gold standard is even simpler. If you're not sure you have enough room, just wait for a moment when you can change lanes entirely to pass.
So, here's your go-to checklist for building safer habits. The first few are about the rules of the road. Check your blind spots, stay out of bike lanes, pretty standard stuff. But I really want you to focus on that last one, patience. It might be the most powerful safety tool you have. That quick, angry honk might feel like a warning to you, but to a cyclist, it can be a massive shock that causes them to wobble, swerve, or even fall. A moment of patience is always the safer call.
Okay, get ready for one of the simplest, most brilliant life hacks for driving. It's called the Dutch Reach, and it's a habit designed to pretty much eliminate those dangerous dooring accidents we talked about. The idea is so easy. To open your car door, you just use your far hand instead of the one closest to the door. And here's the magic of it. When you reach with your far hand, it automatically makes you turn your body. That simple twist forces your head to swivel, pointing your eyes right at your mirror and then over your shoulder into your blind spot. The safety check becomes automatic. It's built right in. Just remember, reach, turn, look, and then open. It's really that easy. So for this last part, let's pull back from the tactical stuff and look at the bigger picture. Because real safety isn't just about individual rules or actions. It's about the entire system and the shared responsibility we all have to make it work.
You know, here's something that might surprise you. Things like protected bike lanes, they're not just for cyclists. They actually help drivers too. It's simple. When cycling feels safer, more people choose to hop on a bike for short trips. That mode shift means fewer cars on the road, which, you guessed it, reduces traffic and congestion for everybody.
And that really brings us to the absolute core of this whole thing, summed up perfectly in this quote. It's all about a shift in mindset. It's about moving away from seeing other people on the road as competition or as obstacles, and instead seeing everyone as a fellow traveler, just trying to get where they're going safely.
So, I want to leave you with this one last question to chew on. We've talked about rules, techniques, and infrastructure. But what if the single greatest safety feature we could ever invent isn't a new law or some fancy piece of gear? What if it's just a universal shift in perspective? Something to think about next time you're on the road.
Please like, subscribe, and get notified.